Dr. Judey, thank you for showing us your lab.
You are very welcome.
So we have a question for you though. What did you want to be when you grew up?
Well, I was most definitely, I had a great affinity towards science. And the best way for me, maybe in school, to define it was to become a medical doctor. But as time passed and eventually I started with my university career, at least, I was exposed to a wider variety of subjects, from microbiology to biochemistry to chemistry. And it was such a wide array of subjects that eventually, after a year or two passed, I started realizing I lean more toward the biochemistry discipline as well as the pharmaceutical chemistry discipline, and that's where I, focused most of my attention in. So I did my master's degree in genetics, and I did my PhD in pharmaceutical chemistry. I did postdoctoral studies in tissue engineering and human biology. Eventually, I did some additional studies to supplement the dermatology industry within an advanced diploma in dermal aesthetics as well. So you can see I ended up more in the dermatology arena, but with a very great biochemistry and pharmaceutical chemistry undertone.
Okay, that's why you could create this brand.
Yes.
And so you're just pairing that fascination that you had with biochemistry, which includes study of the skin and everything
and
like that.
Cells, biology and chemistry, and bringing that all together. And really seeing how biochemistry, or let's call it biology, and the chemistry, work synergistically with each other. So that's what I do on a day-to-day basis.
And you love it.
I love it. I'm very passionate about what I do. I don't think I'll ever get tired of this.
So this is really your ultimate,
Yes.
This was your ultimate dream and you have achieved it.
Ultimate goal. And I think, even at school, maybe you cannot define it, but as a young person, you really need to take the time to expose yourself to all sorts of things, because that's the only way you're going to see what you like and what you hate. And eventually you get to a step closer to that, what you like, and you end up making a career out of that.
That's true.
Yeah.
And were you very smart at school?
Actually not. I wasn't that smart. If you look at my, my matric certificate, then you won't believe me that, I ended up in a very scientific career. But again, the best way for me to explain it, I wasn't that great in school, but when I went to university, I just excelled. So I'm one of those people where I flourish in an environment. So I didn't really flourish in school, but I flourished completely at university. And I guess maybe in school I cannot really, denote it to anything, but maybe it's too competitive. Maybe I didn't like the teachers. I don't know what the scenario may have been, but the moment I went to university, it's like from the first week, I just flourished completely.
Wow.
And it was really just an environment shift. So there wasn't a lack of intellect, it was just an environment shift that made me feel that I can flourish.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
That's actually an amazing testimony how that can happen.
Yes,
If you're really in the thing that you love,
absolutely.
you will make it work. 'Cause
You
you
will.
created it. Why did you start a new skincare brand?
That's a important question that I also get a lot. For me, it was a bit of an activism move, if I can put it that way, because I started culturing skin.
Mm-hmm.
And I started culturing keratinocyte, and I started culturing fibroblasts, these skin cells that we spoke of earlier in the lab. And it bothered me so much that there are products out there that isn't interrogated the amount that we interrogate our products. So you want to know that when you apply a product, that if a product says it's going to penetrate at least this depth into your skin and it's going to stimulate new cell divisions and so on, that you get what you pay for. And I was quite surprised that there are ingredients out there, products that contain fragrances or the wrong preservatives, etc., that when you apply it onto the skin, it actually increases the inflammatory markers on the skin. It becomes to an extent a bit cytostatic or cytotoxic. And yes, cytostatic, which means cytostatic, the cell doesn't want to divide, it goes into a static state. And it bothered me, and that was one of the reasons why I decided, you know what, let's formulate a brand that have particular high purity active ingredients and inactive ingredients with the best kind of preservative system, no fragrances, no dyes, no formulating with parabens and these type of things, that once people apply it on their skin, they get that biological and therapeutic response. And now, you know, we've formulated so many dermatology products that we've literally become such great experts within the dermatology application arena that you know, we are a great force to be reckoned with. So the skills and expertise are kind of arrogantly a bit incomparable to some of the things or product that you get on the market.
Yeah, so when you read the back of your product, it actually will do what it says there.
It will do what it says. And even when I, you know, look at people and we start assisting them with the skin analysis and working out a nice treatment plan for them, if they come with concerns with sensitive skin and acne prone skin and pigmentation skin, these individuals, you know, they want results. And if they pay money, they want a final result. And I believe we've reached a point where we can actually provide that end result that people so desperately desire.
Wow. Yeah. What is Biomedical Emporium?
So our company is a leading biotechnology company, and we've actually 3 divisions. The first division is the cosmeceutical division. So this is the division that you visited today, where we formulate and manufacture the aesthetic products. Our second division is the medical aesthetic division, or the medical device division,
Okay.
And the medical device division would include wound care. And sometimes the medical aesthetic and the medical device division, they have similar disciplines, because wound care is also part of our dermatology application, but it's products that we make specifically for acute, chronic and post-surgical wounds, and it's your burns patients or people. Our recent cases that we had a gentleman who was bitten by a spider, and you know, there was a big hole that fell into his arm, and then we facilitate the aesthetic healing of that. And most of those products are only used in theaters and in hospital environments. And then we have a third division that is not based here in South Africa. It's located in other countries in the world. It's known as Biomedical Emporium Pharmaceuticals. So we also formulate pharmaceutical products, and these are more products which is your scheduled substances, where we make medication, or let's call it your medicinal drugs, for instance. So that's an emporium of products that include the medical aesthetics, the medical device and the pharmaceutical industry.
Wow, so it's actually a massive thing.
It's a massive thing, it's a busy thing, so you can see we really utilize every second of the day to work and formulate new products, manufacture new products and distribute new products.
Yeah. Like, I've heard, and I know a few of us have heard, like, collagen cannot actually penetrate the skin when applied topically.
Yes.
Now is our chance to speak to a doctor about it, a biomedical scientist. What is true, what is not true, what can we believe?
Okay, so the best way for me to answer that question is to physically show you what collagen looks like. So in this little vial over here, and between yourself and I, we can see this is what a collagen fiber looks like. So you'll find that it has a very fluffy and spongy appearance. That's a dry type of appearance.
Yes.
We freeze dried this collagen, and that's also a human collagen. So as you can imagine, if we extract collagen either from a porcine or bovine collagen or even marine collagen, that is similar. It's going to have a similar looking appearance like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, from a logic point of view, if you take that and you apply it onto your skin, you cannot expect any penetration to take place. So that's a realistic thing. But there are ways and means that we can do to take that, and we go through a process, what we call a fractionation process. So collagen is a form of a lot of peptides together. So peptides, remember when I described peptides earlier on, it's amino acids that are combined together, lots and lots of amino acids combined together, which means you can cut it and splice it up together of collagen. And the moment when you cut it, or our terms are fractionate that, then you can get it to a low molecular weight, and hopefully you can get it, if you're a good formulator, you can get it below 500 milligrams per mole, which is a really small amount of molecular size of a molecule. Which means if you apply that onto, or put that into a particular delivery system, like we explained, serums, creams, ointments, and so forth, then yes, you can actually get a product to penetrate into the skin. Sometimes what most of your aesthetic doctors are like is they physically like to inject it into the skin, because then they know the absorption is definitely going to be there. A skin cell that produces collagen is not the skin cells here on the outside, it's the skin cells, the fibroblasts in the middle layer of the skin. So that produces collagen. So the debate is still on, does it really work or not? My advice is fractionate it, and I'll show you how do we fractionate it, number one. And number two, expose your skin to ingredients that will make more collagen naturally, which is ascorbic acid or your vitamin C's, and of course your very popular hyaluronic acid. And even hyaluronic acid has a debatable component.
Yes.
Is it a low molecular weight hyaluronic acid? Is it a medium molecular weight hyaluronic acid? Is it sodium hyaluronate? Is it a high molecular weight? You want the smaller version so you get proper penetration, or just inject it into the skin, and then you'll see you'll start making more of this in any ways. But what we have done, if you look at human collagen, we have a little ball over here, and this little ball is what we call the fractionated version of human recombinant collagen. So it's very small particles of collagen fibers that we've mixed with hyaluronic acid as well. So what that means is we'll take a diluent, so a solution, and we'll just inject it into there, and that collagen will, dissolve in that little vial. And then you can apply that onto the skin, and some doctors even inject it into the skin, and then they actually get collagen that penetrates into the skin, if you do it like that.
But is it a long-term solution, putting collagen back? I mean, will that become alive again and do its work again?
Yes, no, definitely, because you replenish a skin that has been depleted and destructed collagen fibers back with healthy collagen. So it's definitely a very formidable solution. The thing is, sustainability is important. As a esthetician, you would like your clients to come back, because it's not really a case where you perform a treatment like this on someone and it's a once-off thing and it's going to last till infinitum. I mean, our skin is a living, breathing organ. It's quite a demanding organ as well. So a treatment like that needs to be replenished at least once a month. And people have budget constraints, and some people don't want to come back every month. So you try to find solutions that, you have home care remedies, but treatments like this are mostly for the professional environment.
Okay, and then your collagen range,
Yes.
that has your home care range, that has collagen in, does that have some of this in there?
Yes, so typically if we have our products that contain collagen, it contains the recombinant low molecular weight fractionated collagen that we mix with hyaluronic acid. We have a shake that also contains the recombinant collagen. That's very good for wound healing. It's good for your skin, and it's also, if you mix that with a pre and probiotic, it's a nice gut flora, etc. So it brings your systemic health into equilibrium and homeostasis. But overall, collagen is very important, not just only for your skin, but for your bone and your cartilage and these type of things as well.
So it's anti-aging, or
it's an overall anti-aging thing, whether it's for your bone or skin, doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you see a product that says collagen, you should probably just look at the price though, because
you should look at the price. My opinion as well is, have a look at the ingredients and see what type of collagen is inside the product. Be on the lookout for recombinant collagen, because this is a way how we can manipulate the size of the molecule. And it should be recombinant human collagen, because we are humans. I know you get extractions from marine, which is from a fish, and extraction from bovine, which is from a cow, and extractions from porcine, which is from a pig. But ultimately, we want to mimic the human species as much as we possibly can. And if you do extractions from the aforementioned, then definitely the penetration rate is not going to be that wonderful.
Okay, so you just know what product are you buying with the collagen in.
And the thing is, the best, what I always tell people is ask more questions. Sometimes, put a sales representative a little bit in the spotlight by asking, listen, can you explain these active ingredients for me a little bit better? I really don't understand what you mean by bovine extracted collagen. And now there's new terminology where we can say, what is the molecular weight of your collagen? And if it's anything greater than 500 grams or more, then we know it's too big. It's definitely not going to have an effect on the skin.
So that's where they say collagen particles is too big to penetrate the skin.
Yes.
It depends on what collagen, what you just
the size of the collagen, yes.
Okay.
So I'm actually going to shock you a little bit more. People who incurred a wound, for instance, they don't need low molecular weight collagen. They need high molecular weight collagen. In other words, the collagen fibers that are quite big, that's not going to penetrate. Think about a burn wound, for instance, or a maceration wound, or a chemical wound, or whatever the case may be. The skin has been damaged, but now you want to apply a product that basically occludes, don't really penetrate that deep, but really protects. And then a high molecular collagen really actually fits the profile. It's very healthy for the skin doesn't reject it, and it stimulates new cell differentiation to take place. So in cases of wounds, I like the high molecular weight collagen fibers, but for aesthetics and just anti-aging, low molecular weight.
Okay, yeah. So you should just educate yourself.
Exactly.
And know what's going on.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So there's been rounds going around, that there's a new thing popping up called a VAJACIAL.
Yes.
I know you do have some serums made especially for these kind of things. What is a VAJACIAL? And what we're wondering is, wouldn't that completely disrupt everything that's going on down there? Because it has to have the right pH, there's a lot of stuff. You shouldn't fiddle with your ecological
environment. Yes.
Yeah, and now there's stuff like that popping up. Should we be doing that?
Well, the VAJACIAL it comes down to the fact that you have aesthetic treatments for the vagina. And I must say, we only do aesthetic treatments for the vagina, we have anal aesthetic treatments as well.
Yeah.
So the best way to answer that question, it's definitely becoming a more popular treatment to receive for various reasons. We've worked very closely with the gynecology industry, and then some of the gynecology discipline will get feedback where people are just unhappy with their aesthetic appearance down there. And that can mean anything from some texture issues that they have, complexion issues. You'll be surprised that people even have what we call acne in the more intimate areas. So we have to conduct particular treatments for these individuals to make 100% sure that you're not only healthy with your facial skin tone, your body skin tone, but even in the intimate areas as well. And surprisingly enough, I think we've reached a stage in our generations where it's so much easier to talk about these things in comparison to what it was in the past. So what we have found is there are certain individuals who actually start getting a lot of pigmentation or complexion issues in the vaginal as well as the anal area. And that can be for a few reasons. The first thing is sometimes the products that we eat, the food that we eat and drink, disrupts the pH down there.
Okay.
So we have a vaginal pH, for instance, should be more or less between 3.8 to 4.2. So it's quite acidic environment. And in that acidic environment, there should grow a particular microbiota to protect and to occlude. So it's like you say, we don't want to disrupt the ecology environment of the vaginal area. The same goes for the anal area, which is slightly more neutral between 6.8 and 7.2. So if we change the pH of these areas, then there are issues that occur. And issues can occur such as pigmentation that starts forming. And even ladies form pigmentation in the upper thigh area as well. And they don't like it. They just don't like it. It can happen when you drink antibiotics, for instance, or you drink anti-malarial medication. Then you disrupt the microbiota as well. Maceration can cause problems down there. Another component would be if especially females, it's easy for a female to quickly get a UTI. I mean, the statistics are that a female would at least get a UTI once or twice per year. So it's easy for a female to get, and the moment you get a UTI, then it disrupts and changes the complexion and the tone. So we have formulated products and anesthetic treatments that will help with the overall complexion. Another thing is that people suffer with is, especially females, is vaginal tightening. So we have microneedling techniques or laser techniques and so forth that assist with vaginal tightening, especially after they gave birth to a baby and now they have the tightening issues. When they sneeze, there's a problem and this type of thing. So there are a lot of things that we do, and I think the biggest concern that we have is menopause. Now menopause, when a female goes through a menopausal state, she experiences vaginal drying, which is also known as vaginal atrophy. Now think about this for a second. People are living longer. We're about 60 million people in the country, and obviously out of that 60 million people, we are more female than male. And more females, every year there's an increasing amount of female that enter into the menopausal state. Now we also live longer. We die at later stages. So that means women are in a menopausal state for so much longer. And it's quite, it's a distressing time to go through. So we've decided, what can we do to assist these individuals with their vaginal atrophy? And things like this, collagen fiber formulations and product that stimulates new collagen fibers for the uterine wall and vaginal walls and so forth, help to relieve some of the symptoms. Also, we are big breast cancer supporters, and we found that every cancer patients who go through chemo or radiation or drink oncology type of medication also suffer from vaginal atrophy. So you don't have to be going through your menopause. So we even have the vaginal or the VAJACIALs for them to assist with some of these systems to bring relief to some of the side effects that's associated with cancer treatments as well. So it's a big industry. It's going to increase like you won't believe. It's part of our sexual identity, and because it's so important to our being in a particular gender, the importance of the VAJACIALs will actually just increase over time.
That is hectic to think about it like that. But I mean, you think like a VAJACIAL, you think cleansing, steaming, moisturizing, masking, but that's not what it is.
That's part of our treatments in any way. So a client will come in, they will receive a Vajazzle treatment, which will include microneedling techniques, even a bit of certain chemical peels, for instance.
Yeah.
But as you conclude your treatments, you'll end up with a nice calming serum, for instance, and a bit of a masking agent to make sure that there's no folliculitis that start to incur, and you really just create an environment where you restore the microbiota as much as you possibly can.
Okay, but using products that is suitable.
Yes, absolutely suitable
for the.
Yes. And don't be surprised, it's not just usually a treatment that they come in and it stops there. There's home care products as well that they can use every single day. Just to give you an idea, some serums and ointments, not only for the brightening but to restore the microbiota. And also, vaginal douches, for instance. I make a recommendation just once a weekly. We have a nice vaginal douche. You can rinse with that. After a menstrual cycle, for instance, you can rinse with that. Big important thing, after giving birth to a child, how many females start developing infection? So if they can just cleanse with a proper vaginal douche, for instance, it will solve so many issues.
Oh my word, yeah. I can't believe that. Because now our generation, we're being taught don't do it. I know that the older generations, they did it, and now us now. We know you don't do that at all. You don't you don't wash nothing.
Yes.
But now you're saying faucets and stuff, it could be a good idea.
Absolutely, and I think this is what the whole discussion is today. We are talking about ingredients. So you get vaginal douches out there with harmful, I'm not saying harmful, but intensely antibacterial ingredients, which are your chlorhexidines and your biocaine type of ingredients. But if you take very gentle ingredients that's not that harsh, and you stabilize it at that pH 3.8 to 4.2, it's just a quick rinse, and it's something that really equilibrates the microbiota. Yes, we still have to call it a douche because you're going to rinse, and that's the whole purpose. But at least the type of ingredients that are in there are more restorative and preventative than just a full-on harmful chemical.
Okay.
Okay.
So, facial cupping, jade rolling, that's a few words that's being thrown around in the beauty industry at this stage.
Yes.
Any thoughts on that?
It's never a bad idea to combine active ingredients with a mechanical type of treatments. Mechanical being the cupping or microneedling, dermarolling, and so forth. So usually the intent of that is to entice a particular response. So microneedling, dermarolling, the other name for it is known as collagen induction therapy. So it means entices the proliferation of collagen fibers. If you mix that with active ingredients, you're going to have a very nice result. Where the cupping also comes in, it obviously stimulates vascularization in the skin. So, in an area where the vascularization was quite on the weak side, now you do certain cupping, it actually entices the overall circulation, and causes a little bit of inflammation, but at least you stop it. So you control the type of inflammation, and eventually it's kind of taking jumper cables and putting it to the skin, waking it up, and then taking it back again and allowing the skin to heal in a very natural fashion. These type of things that I've just mentioned, should you do it every day? Definitely no. Maybe once a month, tick, 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 yes. So it should happen in a very controlled environment. My opinion, always by a professional person who's really been trained and understands the treatment very well. And don't be too harsh on your skin. Do it, but just not that frequently.
Okay.
Yeah.
But isn't microneedling, doesn't that cause inflammation?
Yes, it does cause inflammation, and it's what we call a deliberate inflammation. So if I say deliberate inflammation, you would come into a professional environment, we'll prepare your skin, but again, aside from prepare your skin, I'm actually meaning we'll buffer your skin. So we'll apply certain active ingredients that will, even though we come with our microneedling device, cause inflammation. There's going to be a buffering agent that we don't overdo it too much. So yes, collagen or microneedling is known as collagen induction therapy, which means the plan is when you go for a treatment, we want to make more of this. And sometimes to make more of that, we need to wake up the skin. And when we bring those needles close to the skin, it's the best way to wake it up. But just before the skin gets too aggravated and irritated, we stop the treatment. So it's just a wake-up call and we stop. And once we finish with the microneedling treatment, we use certain products or active ingredients that we apply on the skin that calms the skin down immediately. So it's not, we cause inflammation, but we don't cause inflammation till infinitum. We entice it, we wake it up, and we reduce it, neutralize it immediately. And again, that's why you cannot do this every single day. You can only do it periodically. In my opinion, I recommend only maybe once every 5 to 6 weeks microneedling. You can do chemical peels more frequently, but microneedling only 5 to 6 weeks.